Shalom Aleichem. Mishnah Yomi is holding in our second to last day of Nashim. We are in Kidushin, chapter 4, Mishnah 11. Now, yesterday in Mishnah 10, we discussed a married couple that went overseas, came back with children. We knew that both of them were kosher when they left, so the children, as long as they're her children, we assume they're still kosher. They can marry Kohanim and all of that. Now, Mishnah Yud Aleph brings a variation here. Isha nasat ibnat yam. A man goes overseas. We know he's kosher. He comes back. He says, yeah, I got married when I was out of town. Harehi v'zo ve'elo v'neha. And here's my new wife, Mazel Tov, and here's the children, Mazel Tov. So we know about the man. You know, he was kosher l'kahuna with no problems for that fitness. We don't know anything about the woman. So mevi raya ol isha. They have to bring some sort of proof, or that this woman doesn't have any problems to marry into kohanim. You don't have to bring proof about the children. After all, we can tell these are her children. They're following after her. They look like her. They're attached to her. Meta, if he had married a woman and she passed away, he's coming back with just the children. Now he has to bring proof about the mother, and also the children, that these were actually the children of the woman that he's now proven had good yichus to marry Kohanim, as we explained yesterday. Let's go on to Mishnah Yud Bet, a very important Mishnah about Yihud. Yihud really means a man and a woman being alone together in a situation where there is opportunity for something intimate to happen. Now, it turns out there's a biblical prohibition about a man being alone with a married woman who's not his wife, and our rabbis extended this even to single women, even to non-Jewish women, over the course of the centuries. And the idea being to avoid a situation that might cause riots and avera, things like this. So what's the scope of the Yihud issue? So Mishnah Yud Bet, lo yidachid adam im shtei nashim. A man can't be alone even with two women. The logic here is the women might both be interested in this man, and they'll both be involved with him and cover up for each other, or perhaps a woman can convince her fellow to keep a secret. Aval isha achat, but one woman mityachedet im shnei anashim. She could be alone with two men. The idea being men will not cover up such secrets or illicit relationships for one another. And the Gemara says we're talking about kosher men. If we're talking about men who are, known to be immoral, then even two men, even 10 men, the Gemara comments, wouldn't be good enough. We're talking about normal, upstanding Jewish guys. Rabbi Shimon adds, Of ish echad miyachdim shnei nashim. A man could be alone with two women, bisman she'ishto imo, as long as his wife is there. V'yoshin imahem b'bidaki. They could all share a hotel room, a man and multiple women. Mibnei she'ishto mishmato. Because his wife is there, his wife will prevent anything illicit from going on with anyone else. And the Mishnah adds, Mit yachid adam im imo. A man can be alone with his own mother. V'im bito, and also with his own daughter. Of course, that's necessary for families to happen, even though these are isser arayot, if there's intimacy there. But Baruch Hashem, there's typically not, an interest in this. And, to preserve a family, our sages didn't make a gezerah that a man can never be with his own mother or daughter in the same room. V'yashanim hem b'kerev basar, and they can even sleep in the same bed. Now, you understand, they didn't have central heat back then, and it was quite common for the whole family to share one bedroom or one bed just to be able to stay warm at night in the winter. Ve'im higdilu, and when the children get older, you understand, the young boy with his mother, and now the boy is starting to grow up and mature, or the young woman with her father, and she's starting to grow up and show signs of maturity. Zo yeshen b'chsuta v'zeh yeshen b'chsuto. So the women should sleep in their own garments, their own blankets, and the men should sleep under their own blankets. Even if they're sharing the same bed, they can still technically share the same bed, but everyone's in their own garments, their own coverings. And the Gemara explains this is when a child is old enough where they feel a little embarrassed to be naked in front of their parents. That's already old enough where they should really be, have some degree of tzniut. It's always important to respect within normal bands, to respect the privacy of our children and to be very sensitive to them and their feelings about their body. It's very important to be sensitive. And so to not invade, the privacy of other people, especially as they're developing into young adults. But Baruch Hashem, this is Yihud, and the idea, of course, in general, is if you can avoid situations that might lead to Aveira, Baruch Hashem, you've avoided the Aveira, you've dodged the bullet. So it's a very important concept generally, not just between men and women. Tiskul mitzvot.